So I've been reading through the Idaho 4 An American Tragedy, and I've summarized multiple chapters, the prologue, and chapters 1 through 5, and chapters 6 through 10, and we're going to go through chapters 11 through 15. I'm just going to summarize what I've read so that if you do not want to read it, that's totally fine, but you can follow along with me, and I'm trying to post multiple chapters every day, so yeah, make sure you hit that like and follow button and comment what you think below once you've heard what happened in these 5 chapters. There was not much in chapter 11. Chapter 11 says Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, July 31st, 2022. So the summer before the murders. And it said the only thing that really stood out to me in this chapter was talking about how Xana says Xana wants to change how she's been, like very eclectic and different. And so she wants to fit in with Ethan's family. And so there's a statement that says she wants to be someone who fits in the world of Ethan and his parents. Well, but it makes me, why doesn't she already? So that's my take on that chapter. I thought that was weird. I've always thought that she isn't very accepted by that family. Now, chapter 12 starts with Moscow, Idaho, June 2022. So this is the senior year for the girls, and they're finally living together after being separated from their sororities, meaning Maddie and Kaylee. They did talk about Maddie's room and how she puts the letters and the boots in the window to kind of signify that that's her room. And it said, when it's dark and her lights are on, anyone walking by can see her putting on her mascara. So you kind of wonder, the person who did it being Brian, or if it is someone else, that they could have been watching her do this. So Maddie's boyfriend Jake graduated and he was back at home in Boise, but their plan was to make it through this year doing long distance. So they talk about how they have a standing appointment with each other and they speak every night at 8, and that kind of is alluded to in the TikToks we've seen about them where they talk about Jake's calling. That's because she had a standing call with him at 8 o'clock. I thought it was interesting that Xana and Emily were really inseparable, and that Emily ended up making plans to room with Josie, her childhood best friend from Boise, next door at the Whites, and the building where her boyfriend Hunter Johnson was, instead of living with Xana. Now enter the 2 surviving roommates, Dylan and Bethany, and they were the 2 that took the final 2 rooms at the house. Dylan was Emily's little and Bethany was Maddie's little. But what I thought was weird is Dylan is Emily's little, so remember she asked Kaylee to go with her to that party the night of the murders, but why didn't she just ask Emily since Emily's her big? That's when they took, there was the picture that they took Meet the Roommates all together outside on the patio in the sun, where they're kind of squinting and they're all in sundresses, and Maddie made the post public. It says that she doesn't think of any risks associated with that. And their Venmos were public too. I don't understand that thought process of being so open with the public. Chapter 13 was so unnecessary. It was literally about Emily's dream. And it was just, it's all fake and not real. So I don't understand why they put that chapter in. And it says that she says she's thinking about how Maddie is being hit on by someone at the Mad Greek, and that Maddie shakes her head and goes about her business. She doesn't give the guy another thought. She doesn't see the guy walk to his car, a white Hyundai Elantra, sit in the driver's seat and type her name into his phone. But it was like, this was proven, like they never had any connection of Brian looking at anything with social media. So even her dream is inaccurate of the truth. But the whole thing was like theoretical, or like, and they said it's a dream. So it's like, why did you put this in here? Like, this was so unnecessary. Chapter 14 starts with Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, September 2022. And it says that Kaylee was dating somebody new and that he said, bitch, go make me a quesadilla. I want to know who that was. And was he ruled out? Because that was rude as hell. And she ends up getting up and she doesn't take it and she leaves. Good girl. I'm proud of her for that. So at this point, they're saying she's kind of regretting not staying with Jack. She's always worried that she's never sure if she's reaching out just for Murphy or because she really wants to be with Jack, I guess. They talk about how Kaylee did really well at her internship and that's why she got a full-time job, and that she was really noticed by management, so that's why she ended up moving up. And that she's just been comparing how she was treated by Jack versus this guy sitting on the couch with her saying that, and so she ends up leaving. She's saying, like, when she gets back and tells her roommates that they'll have plenty to say about it when she tells them Kaylee, they'll cry, pretending to be exasperated, and then say, why is there always so much drama around you? And I'm like, why would they say that? That's so rude. Like, why would she think that they would say that? That's rude. Now we're at chapter 15, and it says Moscow, Idaho, September 1st, 2022. So 2 months before. So Emily's mom, Karen, comes to visit Xana, and Xana picks her up from the airport in chapter 15. She takes her back to the 1122 King Road home, where she kind of shows her that she's getting her life together. She even has, like, matching sheets, which I guess she didn't before. She's also working at the Mad Greek now, making decent money. So that's helping her improve her lifestyle. But that it's bittersweet because Emily and her have lived together for so long that now they're not living together, even though they're super close by, but it's still kind of weird. And then Karen leaves to go to Emily's place across the way. They say that later that evening, Ethan and Xana go by Emily's apartment. They say that Ethan's sitting down on the couch and that Xana just kind of sits down on his lap instead of sitting on the couch with him. And that he says, Karen said, finally, he says, geez, woman, stop wiggling. And I just want to know how that was said, because Karen's kind of interpreting how, or like restating how Ethan said it. And I don't know if he was joking or if he was like legitimately irritated by Xana. Of course, Xana has the personality that does not give a shit. So she just like laughs it off and is like, well, yeah, whatever. And the chapter saying that Ethan would rather have Xana wiggling on his lap than be sitting anywhere else. So that they were really in love with each other. So that's where we're at. That is chapters 11 through 15. There's not much information in those 5 chapters, but I wanted to bring that to you. I will keep reading through it and working through this big monstrous book and let you know what I find each chapter. If you want to follow along, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button and comment what you think about these 5 chapters, and I will be back with more.